What's going on, guys? I'm coming at you another review, and this time it's of the real Action Heroes Medicom Lelouch v Britannia, or Lelouch Lamperouge, whichever one you want to call him, from code Geass. Now, this is a figure that I've been wanting to get for a long time. It's 1/6 scale, so this is going to be kind of different video view because it's kind of hard to capture the whole figure in its size. It's actually 12 inches, 1/6 scale. Might be a little taller than regular Hot Toys. No, actually it's about the same. So it's a pretty big figure, but I'm gonna try to capture everything that I can on the camera. I was really excited to do this review because before I had bought the figure, usually I try to look at other videos like reviews that people have made of the figure to see if I want to buy it or to see if I like it, and I realized that there wasn't any reviews of this figure at all whatsoever on all of YouTube. The only one that they had was the actual Zero figure with him in his Zero costume. That's the only review that's out there right now of this line, because that Zero is actually in the same made by the same company, Real Action Heroes. Never really owned Real Action Heroes before, but so far this one has been pretty promising. So let's actually get into the figure real quick. Here's the box really quick. It's a big box. It says Lelouch Lamperouge, code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion. Got the logo on the side, logo right there. Cool picture of him on the back. Project BM, and then some cool photos of him on the side of the box. So really quick, I'm actually just going to be kind of displaying the detail on the figure because he doesn't really come with a lot of accessories. It's more so the detail that they put into this. So let's take a look at the head sculpt. Now, I'm going to say right now that this head sculpt is 100% accurate to how Lelouch looks. If any figure has captured him in his likeness, the best is probably this one. Hair sculpt is pretty cool, exactly the same as how his hair is in the anime. It's kind of spiky at the back, the hair's combed here, nice detail with the hair lines here, and then the hair comes with the sides right here, not the front. And then of course, I'm not sure if I can pick that up, that small little detail, but if you can see right there, he's got his Geass right there in his left eye, and the other eye is violet purple like it is in the anime. And he's just making like a normal face. Unfortunately, there isn't any alternate faces that this guy comes with. It's just this one. So this is pretty good still. It's a nice head. And then if we take some more if we take a closer look at his uniform, he's got his school logo right here from the school he attends in the anime, and then he's got a gold lining of the suit right here, some buttons, got the logo right there too again. So that's pretty cool. Turn around, he's got more of the gold lining throughout the uniform. He's got it on his wrists of his suit, so there's that. And like I said, he's got the buttons. And then really quick, he has his belt. The belt is actually Velcro, so it does come off. I don't really imagine why you would want to take it off, but it does come off if you want to reposition it or put it through the loops, maybe like make it a little tighter. That's what I did. And then he has his 3 flaps of the suit right here. This is his school uniform that he wears throughout the day. And then let's go a little higher. So here are his pants, just very simple black pants. He's got long legs. That's just how the character design is. he's a very lanky figure, as you can see. That's just how the character design is again. So in terms of accuracy to the source material of Code Geass, this is very on point because he is a very skeletal guy. He's all the characters in that anime they have very long legs and then long arms. And then he's got his shoes right here. They do come off, but you got to be very careful about taking them off. They're a little shiny, just regular dress shoes. A small heel at the end. And let's take a look at his hands. He comes with 2 sets of hands. And then he doesn't really have a white dress shirt underneath. These are just cufflinks right here. They do kind of move around a little bit. But let's take a look at his hands. So if you know Code Geass like I do, or if you know Lelouch, he's a very expressive guy when he poses or uses his hands. So the fact that they really took time and attention to doing the hands the way they look right now is great, because it captures the exact posing that he does in some of the art for the anime, or the just scenes from the anime. They really capture it very well with these skeletal hands. They're very flamboyant, very expressive, very agile posing here with his hands. It's kind of cool how much expression that you can see from the character by just his hand movement. This one's a little more crazy. He got his pinky right here, and his fingers bending right here, so you can make him do that famous pose where he puts his hand on his face like that. So that's pretty cool. That's what those are for. The hands do come out, and I'll show you that in a second. The only other 2 hands that he comes with is 2 fists. He's got his 2 fists right here. So they're just regular fists, nothing special about them. And if you want to see how they come out, the hand just slides out like that, and then you just slide the fist in like so. So it's very easy. I never really found an issue with taking them out. And then another thing I'm going to want to note is that there's screws here on his wrist, so that kind of takes away from the figure. But if you want to hide it, maybe you can put the sleeve right here, maybe put it a little higher up so you can hide that screw. But in all honesty, it doesn't really bother me. I usually just keep these hands on, because these hands are probably the coolest hands that he has. And then of course, for display purposes, he comes with a clear stand. This is kind of falling off a lot. I don't know if that's going to be like all of them, but he does come with a stand, and then it just clips right here, however you want to do that. So I'm probably going to have this guy on display for most of the time, but he is pretty fun to pose. The only thing that I'm going to say if you get this figure is to try to figure out the articulation of this guy, because as you can see, he's fully clothed, so you can't see the joints of how he moves around. So what I did is I undressed him, fully undressed him, took off his jacket. I looked at the body, I looked at the articulation, what moves, what doesn't, just to know, to get a better understanding, so when I pose him, I won't accidentally break something, because from what I've heard from a lot of people who own real action hero figures, the joints are very delicate, and if you pose them too hardly or in places where they don't move, it's probably likely that it's going to snap and break. So I didn't want that to happen with this guy, so I decided to just take his clothes off. It's very easy. There's like a button right here, and then this actually buttons open. I can do it real quick for you. this button's open right here. It's Velcro. Very sturdy Velcro, so it's pretty easy. So you can just take it off like that, and then you can just look at all his joints. So if you're like me, I take pictures of action figures and I like to pose them around. You're gonna want to know what joints are where, how much he can move, and what he's capable of, because you don't want to break him. So for that being said, being that I did take the liberty to look at the body underneath, he actually has butterfly joints right here, so you can move his arms in and out. And I'll just get into the articulation right now since I'm talking about it already. Let's get real close for here. The neck is on a double ball peg, so there's a ball peg right here. And there's also a ball peg meeting at the neck to the body. So you can move them around all the way. Look down, look up, side to side. Great articulation right there. And then for the arms do go all the way out. Be a little careful about putting them all the way out because you might tear it, but it looks like the fabric on this figure is actually pretty sturdy. But his arms do go all the way out, and like I said, he does have butterfly joints. This is actually a fully posable body. It might get in the way a little with these cloth clothes here, so it is fully posable though. He does have a double jointed arm right here, so you can get that much range. You can pretty much go all the way right there. A full bend. He does have a bicep swivel underneath, and then of course he has a swivel here because it does come out, and then he has a hinge. So full articulation in the upper body. If you know the character, he's not really acrobatic, he's not really agile. He usually just does like stances and poses, so I don't really imagine myself doing too much with him besides just posing his arms. But he does have an ab crunch. It's very small, but like I said, the clothes kind of hinder it a little, but it does move all around right there, and it does swivel. He does have a waist twist, so that's pretty cool. And now the legs actually have full articulation. You can move the legs all the way up. Like I said, be a little careful with the cloth right here. There's no really reason to move his legs all the way up because, like I said, he's not Spider-Man. He's not going to be doing any crazy poses with his legs. So you can move them all the way up if you want to. They do bend at the knee fully, double jointed. It's going to get kind of crazy right here because he's so long. I'm going to have to put him sideways. So it does do a full bend right here. He is able to do the splits, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to stress the clothing right here. But surprisingly, the body underneath is very posable. There's joints almost everywhere. And then of course at the feet, it's kind of weird. I can show you this. He has a swivel right here, and I will be very careful about moving around his foot because, like most figures, usually you're supposed to have a an ankle rocker and a pivot right here. However, the pivot is just side to side. You can swivel it, but it's only from side to side. So that's why I recommended to look at everything before you pose him, because usually on most action figures you just kind of pose this part up. If you pose this up, it's gonna break, so don't do that. You only can swivel and then side to side. So that's pretty much it for the feet, and that's pretty much for the articulation overall. And overall, I would give this figure maybe a 9 out of 10, 9.5, because although the figure is very posable, it's kind of a little delicate, just maybe a little bit, depending on the condition if you buy one, of how it comes. And then also the cloth sometimes is not as durable as most. Mine is very durable. It's very pristine, and I'm surprised at that because as I mentioned in my previous video, I mentioned that this one I bought one before and the clothing was all ripped because it was deteriorating. So if you are thinking of getting one for yourself, I would try to ask the person who's selling it how the condition is, if they can send you pictures, and if they can maybe pose it around for you to see if it will rip, because literally the other one that I bought that I had to return, whenever I would pose it, just simple bending at the arm or posing it out like this, everything would rip. It would just rip and deteriorate. So the fabric was very old, and that wasn't the case with this one, luckily. So I'm just giving you guys a warning if you end up wanting to get one for yourself. But luckily this one came very nice. So that's pretty much it. If you want to see any more photos, I can post them on Instagram. I'm going to have some at the end of the video. There's the review, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for sticking around.
Djibouti.